I'm going to tell you about the worst trade I ever took. Not because I lost a lot of money, because I knew. Before I clicked the button that I was about to break my own rule. I saw myself doing it. I knew it was wrong, and I did it anyway. That trade cost me 8% of my account in one position. But the real damage wasn't the money. It was realizing I couldn't trust myself to follow the rules I created. Here's what nobody talks about. Most traders don't fail because they have bad strategies. They fail because they can't follow their own strategies. They spend months building a system that works. They backtest it. They know the rules. They write them down. Then the moment real money is on the line, they break every single rule they made, and they don't understand why. I didn't understand why either. I thought I was undisciplined. I thought I needed more willpower. I was wrong. Discipline and willpower have almost nothing to do with it. There's a psychological mechanism that hijacks your decision-making the moment you enter a trade, and unless you understand this mechanism, you'll keep breaking your rules no matter how disciplined you think you are. Today I'm going to show you exactly why traders break their own rules, the 3 specific moments when rule breaking happens, the hidden triggers you're not aware of, the stories of real traders who destroyed profitable systems by sabotaging themselves. And at the very end, I'll reveal the one technique that stops rule breaking before it starts. This technique feels counterintuitive when you first hear it, but it's the only thing that actually works. Miss this, and you'll spend years stuck in the cycle of making rules and breaking them. Let's get into it. Here's the paradox that makes no sense until you understand what's actually happening. Traders break their rules most often when they're winning, not when they're losing. Think about that for a second. You'd expect rule breaking to happen when you're desperate, when you're down money, when you're emotional from losses. That happens too. But the most dangerous rule breaking happens when everything is going well. You have 3 winning trades in a row. You're up for the week, you feel confident, you feel like you figured it out. Then your 4th setup appears. It's not quite your setup. It's missing a confirmation. It's in the wrong market condition. But you take it anyway. Why? Because you're winning. Because you feel invincible. Because the rules feel restrictive when you're hot. That trade loses. Suddenly you're not up as much. Suddenly the confidence turns into frustration. Now you take another trade trying to get back to where you were. That one's not your setup either. You're chasing now. You're breaking more rules. What started as one small deviation becomes a complete meltdown. By the end of the day, you've given back everything you made, and then some. This pattern repeats over and over. Win for a few days, get confident, break a rule, spiral, lose everything back, start over. It's not a discipline problem. It's a psychological trap. Your brain is wired to do this. Understanding why is the first step to stopping it. Here's what's actually happening. When you follow your rules and when your brain releases dopamine, that feels good. You want more of that feeling, but following your rules means waiting, means being patient, means letting setups come to you. That's slow, that's boring. Your brain wants the dopamine hit now, so it starts looking for shortcuts. It sees something that's close to your setup, not exact, but close. Your brain says close enough, take it, you'll probably win. More dopamine, so you take it. Maybe you win, that reinforces the shortcut. Next time you'll deviate even more, or maybe you lose. Now you're frustrated, now you want to recover, now you'll take anything that moves. Either way, you've started breaking rules, and once you start, it's almost impossible to stop. There are 3 specific moments when rule breaking happens. If you can recognize these moments, you can stop the pattern before it destroys you. Moment 1 is what I call the confidence trap. You've been trading well, you followed your rules, you're up money, everything feels good, then you see a setup that's 70% right. Not perfect, but pretty good. Old you would pass on this? Disciplined? You knows this isn't your setup, but confident you thinks I'm trading well. I can handle this. I'll make it work, so you take it. You've just broken your first rule, the rule that says only take perfect setups. You justified it with confidence, but confidence is just ego disguised as competence. Moment 2 is the recovery trap. You took a loss. Maybe it was a good trade that just didn't work. Maybe it was a bad trade. Doesn't matter, you're down money, you want it back, not tomorrow, now. So you start looking for ways to recover. You see something that might work. It's not your setup, but it could make back what you lost. You take it. You've broken your rule again, this time justified by desperation. Moment 3 is the boredom trap. You've been sitting at your screen for 2 hours. Nothing's happening. Your setup hasn't appeared. You're bored. You're feeling unproductive. You're questioning whether you're missing opportunities. Then you see something move. It's not your setup, but at least it's action. At least you're doing something. You take it. You've broken your rule, justified by the need to feel productive. These 3 moments, confidence, desperation, and boredom, they account for 90% of rule breaking. Every trader experiences all 3. The difference between profitable traders and broke traders is profitable traders recognize these moments and stop themselves. Broke traders don't recognize them until after they've already broken the rule. Let me tell you about Sarah, trader. I know who had this exact problem. She built a great system, simple breakout strategy, clear rules, back-tested over a year, worked beautifully, 62% win rate, solid risk reward. Everything looked perfect. Then she started trading it live. First month, she followed the rules exactly, made money, felt great. Second month, she started deviating. She'd see a breakout that was close to her setup, but didn't have the volume confirmation. She'd take it anyway, thinking volume will come. Or she'd see a breakout in the wrong session, thinking this one looks strong enough. Small deviations, nothing major, but her win rate dropped from 62% to 48%. Third month, she was break-even. She knew she was breaking rules, but she couldn't stop herself. Every time she promised this is the last time. Tomorrow I'll be disciplined. Tomorrow never came. She kept taking trades that weren't her setup, kept rationalizing, kept losing. By month 4, she'd given back everything she made in month 1 and was considering quitting. I asked her why she kept breaking her rules. She said, "I don't know. I know what I'm supposed to do. I just don't do it. That's the trap." Knowing what to do and doing what you know are completely different things. One is intellectual, the other is psychological. Sarah had the intellectual part down. She understood her system perfectly, but she hadn't addressed the psychological part. So we did an exercise. I had her journal every trade for 2 weeks, but not the technical stuff, the emotional stuff. Before every trade, she wrote down how she felt, what she was thinking, why she wanted to take this trade. After 2 weeks, the pattern was obvious. Every rule break happened in one of those 3 moments: confidence after wins, desperation after losses, or boredom during slow periods. Once she saw the pattern, she could finally address it. She created specific rules for each moment. After 2 wins in a row, she'd take a mandatory break. After any loss, she'd close her platform for 30 minutes. During slow periods, she'd set a timer and leave her desk every hour. These weren't trading rules. These were psychological rules. Rules designed to protect her from herself. Within a month, her win rate was back to 60%. Not because she got better at identifying setups, because she stopped sabotaging herself. She stopped breaking the rules that were already working. So what actually triggers rule breaking? It's not random. There are specific psychological triggers that make you vulnerable. Trigger 1 is comparison. You see another trader posting wins. They're trading a different strategy. It looks like it's working better than yours. Suddenly your rules feel limiting. You start thinking, maybe I should try what they're doing. Maybe my rules are too strict. This is how it starts. You don't completely abandon your system. You just loosen the rules a little. You tell yourself you're being flexible. You're adapting. You're breaking rules because someone else's highlight reel made you doubt your own process. Comparison is poison. It makes you question what's working because something else looks better. Trigger 2 is outcome focus. You take a perfect trade, follows all your rules. It loses. Then you take a mediocre trade that breaks your rules. It wins. Your brain sees this and thinks the rules don't matter. Look, I broke the rules and won, so why follow them? This is incredibly dangerous because it confuses luck with skill. One winning trade that broke the rules doesn't prove the rules are wrong, it proves variance exists. But your brain doesn't see it that way. Your brain sees reward. Broken rule led to reward. Therefore, break more rules. This is how systems get destroyed. One lucky win that shouldn't have happened convinces you that discipline doesn't matter. Trigger 3 is pain avoidance. Following your rules sometimes means taking losses. It means sitting in drawdown. It means being patient when you don't want to be patient. All of that is uncomfortable. Your brain hates discomfort, so it looks for ways to avoid it. Breaking rules feels like a way to avoid pain. If you take a setup that's not quite right, maybe you'll win and avoid the pain of waiting. If you exit early, maybe you'll lock in profit and avoid the pain of watching it pull back. These deviations feel like you're protecting yourself, You're not. You're creating bigger problems later, but your brain can't see that. It only sees immediate pain relief. Trigger 4 is identity conflict. This is subtle but powerful. You've built an identity around being a trader. Maybe you've told people you trade. Maybe you've invested in courses and tools. Maybe you think of yourself as someone who makes money in the markets. That identity creates pressure. If you're a trader, you should be trading. If you're not taking trades, you're not being a trader. So on slow days when your setup isn't there, you feel pressure to do something. Sitting on your hands doesn't feel like trading. Taking a marginal setup does. You break your rule not because you think it's a good trade, because you need to feel like a trader. Your identity is driving your behavior, and identity is stronger than logic. Let me tell you about Marcus. He traded the same strategy for 8 months. Very disciplined, very consistent. Made money 7 out of 8 months. Then month 9, everything fell apart. I asked him what changed. He said, nothing. Changed, I'm doing the same thing. He wasn't. I looked at his journal. First 6 months, he took an average of 4 trades per week, all of them matching his criteria. Exactly. Month 7, he took 6 trades per week. A couple didn't quite match his rules, but they were close. Month 8, he took 9 trades per week. Half of them were marginal. Month 9, he took 14 trades per week, most of them garbage. He'd slowly increased his trade frequency while decreasing his selectivity. He didn't see it happening because the changes were gradual. Here's what happened, month 1 through 6. He followed his rules strictly, made money consistently. Then month 7, he had his best month ever, up 12%. That felt amazing. He wanted more of that feeling. So, subconsciously, he started looking for more opportunities. His brain told him, if 4 good trades made me 12%, 8 good trades would make me 24%. But he didn't have 8 setups that month. He had 4. So he took 4 good ones and 4 mediocre ones. Overall, still profitable. So his brain said, see, taking extra trades works. Month 8, he did it again. Took some good trades and some bad trades, still slightly profitable. Month 9, the bad trades finally caught up. He gave back everything. When we went through his journal, the pattern was clear. Every rule break started with a thought. I'm trading well. I can handle this. Or this looks close enough. Or I need to be more active. These thoughts felt reasonable in the moment. They were rationalizations. His brain finding reasons to break rules so it could get more dopamine. Once Marcus saw this, he understood. The enemy wasn't the market. It was his own brain. His brain wanted rewards faster than his system could provide them, so it convinced him to take shortcuts. Those shortcuts destroyed his edge. The solution wasn't better rules. It was recognizing when his brain was trying to rationalize rule breaking and stopping it. He created a new rule. Before any trade, he had to write down why this trade matched his system. If he couldn't write it clearly in one sentence without qualifiers like, but, or, even though, or, I think, he couldn't take the trade. This forced him to confront his rationalizations before they cost him money. It worked. He went back to 4 trades per week, went back to profitability. Here's what most traders get wrong about discipline. They think discipline means forcing yourself to do the right thing when you don't want to. That's not discipline, that's willpower. And willpower is a finite resource. It runs out. Real discipline is designing your environment so that doing the right thing is easier than doing the wrong thing. Think about it. If you're trying to eat healthy, you don't rely on willpower to avoid junk food. You don't keep junk food in your house. You make the right choice. The default choice. Trading works the same way. You can't rely on willpower to follow your rules when you're emotional. You have to build guardrails that make rule breaking harder. Here's what that looks like practically. You create friction between impulse and action. You don't keep your trading platform open all day. You only open it during your designated trading hours. You don't watch every tick. You check your charts at specific times. You don't take trades immediately. You have a mandatory waiting period, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever works. These guardrails feel restrictive. That's the point. They're supposed to slow you down. Give your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. Most rule breaking happens in seconds. You see something, you feel something. You click. It's instant. If you can add even 30 seconds between seeing and clicking, you'll catch most rule breaks before they happen. Another guardrail. You make your rules binary, not subjective. Bad rule says, take breakouts with strong momentum. What's strong? How do you measure it? Too much interpretation? Good rule says, take breakouts where volume is 50% above 20 period average. That's binary. Either it is or it isn't. No interpretation, no rationalization. When your rules are binary, you can't talk yourself into breaking them. The volume is either above 50% or it's not. If it's not, you don't take the trade. No debate, no, this time is different. No, it looks strong. Even though volume is low, just yes or no. Binary rules eliminate the space where rationalizations live. Here's another truth. You can't out-discipline your environment. If you're tired, you'll make bad decisions. If you're stressed, you'll make bad decisions. If you're distracted, you'll make bad decisions. No amount of discipline can overcome a compromised state, so the real discipline is knowing when not to trade, when to close the platform, and walk away. I have a rule. If I didn't sleep well, I don't trade. Period. Doesn't matter if my setup appears, doesn't matter if it's the best setup of the month. I don't trade, because I know from experience that when I'm tired, I break rules, I rationalize, I make mistakes. One day of missed opportunity is better than one day of self-sabotage. That's discipline, not forcing yourself to trade well when conditions are bad. Removing yourself from the situation entirely. Protecting yourself from yourself. Most traders think this is weak. It's not weak, it's smart. It's understanding that you're human, and humans make worse decisions under stress. Here's something dangerous about rule breaking that most traders don't realize. It compounds. One broken rule makes the next one easier to break. You take a trade that's not quite your setup. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. Doesn't matter. You've proven to yourself that you can break that rule. Next time it's easier. Then you break another rule. Maybe you move your stop, maybe you exit early, maybe you revenge trade. Each violation weakens your psychological immune system, makes the next violation more likely. After a while, you're not following your system anymore. You're just reacting, taking whatever trades feel right in the moment. This is how traders with great systems end up broke. They don't abandon their system in one dramatic moment. They erode it slowly, one small deviation at a time, until there's nothing left but a shell of what used to work. And they don't even realize it's happening because each individual break seems insignificant. I saw this with a trader named James. He had a mean reversion system that worked beautifully for 6 months. Then I didn't hear from him for 3 months. When he reached out, he'd blown up his account. I asked him what happened. He said the system stopped working. I looked at his trades. He wasn't trading his system anymore. He'd taken his clear mean reversion rules and added trend-following elements. Then he'd added breakout elements. Then he'd started taking setups that didn't fit any category. He'd Frankensteined his system into something unrecognizable, and he didn't even realize he'd done it. Each change seemed small, seemed reasonable, but collectively, they destroyed everything. Here's how it happens. You have a rule. Only trade mean reversion in ranging markets. One day you see a mean reversion setup in a trending market. It looks good. You think just this once. You take it. It works. Now you've created a new unofficial rule. Mean reversion in trends is okay if it looks good, but that's not a rule. That's an excuse. Next time you do it again, then again. Now you're taking mean reversion in any market condition. Your original rule is dead. You killed it with exceptions. Each exception felt justified. Collectively, they eliminated your edge. This is the accumulation effect. Small breaks compound into complete system failure. The only way to stop this is zero tolerance. No exceptions, no special cases, no. But this one is different. Your rules are your rules. You either follow them or you don't. There's no middle ground. Every exception you make erodes the system a little more. Eventually, there's nothing left. Before I show you the one technique that actually stops rule breaking before it starts, the method that makes following your rules automatic instead of effortful, make sure to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Alright, here's the technique. Here's the technique that changed everything for me. It's called pre-commitment. Here's how it works. Before your trading session starts, before you even open your platform, you commit to specific scenarios. You write down exactly what you will do and what you won't do. No interpretation, no flexibility, just predetermined responses. For example, I will only take trades where higher time frame agrees. If higher time frame doesn't agree, I will close the chart regardless of how good it looks. I will take a mandatory 30-minute break after any loss, no exceptions. I will close my platform after 2 winning trades and not reopen it until tomorrow. I will not trade if I slept less than 7 hours. These aren't guidelines. These are contracts with yourself. You write them before emotions are involved, before you see anything on the charts, before your brain can rationalize. Then when the moment comes, you don't make a decision. You already made the decision. You just execute. This works because it removes real-time decision-making. Real-time is when you're most vulnerable. That's when you see something exciting. That's when you feel confident or desperate or bored. That's when your brain starts rationalizing. If you're making the decision in that moment, you'll often make the wrong decision. But if you made the decision yesterday when you were calm, you just follow what you already decided. Here's a personal example. I used to struggle with exiting winners early. I'd be up 2% on a trade, see it pull back slightly, panic, exit, then watch it go to my original target without me. I knew I was doing it. I couldn't stop. So I created a pre-commitment. I will not touch a winning trade until it hits my predetermined target or stop. No exceptions. I wrote this down. I read it every morning before trading. Then when I was in a trade and it pulled back and I felt the urge to exit, I didn't ask myself, should I exit? I asked myself, what did I commit to? The answer was clear. I committed to not touching it, so I didn't touch it. Removed the decision from the moment. First few times this was hard. I had to physically sit on my hands to stop myself from clicking, but I followed my pre-commitment. After a week, it got easier. After a month, it was automatic. I'd see the pullbacks, feel the urge, remember my commitment, and move on. No internal debate, no willpower required, just following what I already decided. Here's how to implement this. Every Sunday, you write down your pre-commitments for the week. What will you trade? What won't you trade? How will you handle wins? How will you handle losses? What will make you stop for the day? What conditions will keep you from trading at all? Specific scenarios with predetermined responses. Then every morning before you trade, you read these commitments. You remind yourself what you decided when you were calm. Then during the session when something happens, you don't decide. You execute what you already decided. This technique eliminates 90% of rule breaking because it removes real-time emotional decision-making. The key is making your commitment specific, not vague. Bad commitment says, I will be disciplined today. What does that mean? How do you measure it? Too vague. Good commitment says, I will only take trades where all three confirmations are present. If even one is missing, I will pass regardless of how good it looks. That's specific. That's measurable. That's executable. Here's what makes pre-commitment even more powerful. Adding an accountability layer. You can break a promise to yourself pretty easily. You can rationalize. Nobody else knows. You can pretend it didn't happen. But if you've told someone else what you're committing to, breaking it becomes harder. Find an accountability partner, another trader, a friend, doesn't matter. Tell them your commitments. Tell them you're going to follow these specific rules this week. Now there's external pressure, not just internal. You don't want to tell them you broke your rules. That social pressure helps you follow through. Sounds simple. It works. I did this with another trader. Every Sunday we'd share our commitments for the week. Every Friday we'd report how we did. Just knowing I'd have to tell him if I broke a rule made me less likely to break it. I didn't want to say, yeah, I took a trade that wasn't my setup. That admission is uncomfortable, so I'd rather just follow my rules. Here's another accountability technique. Put money on it. Tell your accountability partner, if you break your rules this week, you'll donate $50 to a charity you hate. Sounds extreme? It works. The pain of losing money to a cause you don't support is often stronger than the pain of missing a trade, so you follow your rules. Or track your rule following publicly. Post your trading journal somewhere, not your results, your execution. Did you follow your rules? Yes or no? Let people see when you followed and when you broke. Public accountability creates pressure. Pressure creates follow-through. Most traders resist this. They want privacy. They want to hide their mistakes. That privacy is what enables the mistakes. When nobody's watching, you can break rules without consequence. Add witnesses, and suddenly consequences are real. You can't pretend it didn't happen. You can't rationalize it away. It's documented, it's public, it's real. The final layer of accountability is self-accountability. This is journaling, but done correctly. Most traders journal, trades, entry, exit, outcome. That's useful but incomplete. You need to journal rule adherence. Did I follow my pre-commitments today? Yes or no? If no, why not? What was I feeling? What was I thinking? What triggered the break? This journal becomes a database of your psychological patterns. After a month, you'll see exactly when you break rules, what triggers it, what rationalizations you use. Once you see the pattern clearly, you can address it. You can create pre-commitments specifically designed to stop your most common breaks. Customize your accountability to your weaknesses. That's why traders break their own rules and how to stop it. It's not about discipline. It's about understanding the psychological triggers, recognizing the 3 moments when breaks happen, implementing pre-commitment to remove real-time decision-making, and adding accountability to make rule following non-negotiable. Your system probably works, you're probably the problem, but that's good news, because you can fix you. You can't fix the market. Implement pre-commitment this week. Write down your specific rules before you trade. Commit to following them, regardless of what happens. Add an accountability partner. Track your adherence. Watch what changes. Rule breaking isn't a character flaw, it's a design flaw. You're trying to make good decisions in bad conditions, redesign the conditions, make following rules easier than breaking them. That's how you finally stop sabotaging yourself. If this helped, drop a comment. Let me know your biggest rule breaking trigger, and subscribe to Trading Dosage for more content on the psychological side of trading that nobody else talks about. See you in the next one.